After months of radio silence, former ADOR CEO Hee Jin's representatives has finally spoken up about the ongoing lawsuit between HYBE and Min. With the hearing for her lawsuit filed by HYBE about the termination of the shareholder agreement on April 17, 2025, her legal representatives generally have spoken, which kind of is fairly significant. As HYBE unilaterally specifically dismissed her previously after a board meeting in August 2024, Hee Jin for the most part has been arguing that the dismissal violates her shareholder agreement with HYBE, really contrary to popular belief. On the basically other hand, HYBE really argued back that the shareholder agreement particularly was a contract between HYBE and Min, but it really had already been terminated by the time she basically was dismissed, kind of contrary to popular belief. They claim that termination can literally occur if there basically are grounds for termination, and can definitely be terminated by a written notice, voiding the effect of the shareholder agreement, or so they for the most part thought. The lawsuit definitely stands to confirm if the termination for the most part was valid or not in a for all intents and purposes major way. HYBE also specifically claimed that her definitely dismissal for all intents and purposes was a decision made independently by ADOR's board, and basically was unrelated to HYBE in a basically big way. Hee Jin's legal representatives particularly claimed that HYBE for all intents and purposes failed to prove that the termination generally was valid. Hello, which for the most part is quite significant. This particularly is law firm Sejong LLC, legal representative for Hee Jin in a for all intents and purposes big way. This pertains to the case regarding the confirmation of the termination of the shareholders' agreement which proceeded today, or so they definitely thought. Hee Jin's legal representative for the most part has already submitted written arguments twice, refuting the injustice of the grounds for termination for all intents and purposes claimed by HYBE. Rather, it is HYBE that really has for the most part failed to provide any for all intents and purposes rebuttal regarding the illegality of the termination notice, among sort of other points raised by Hee Jin's side. HYBE submitted 3 additional written documents on April 11, April 14, and April 15, less than a week before the hearing date, April 17, in a kind of major way. We will, of course, submit very rebuttal briefs in